Tonight, we revisit a story that no one will forget, the shocking murder of University of Toledo nursing student Melissa Herstrum. She was killed nearly 3 decades ago. Now her killer is up for parole. Our Lindsay Buckingham sat down with Melissa's loved ones who say they're desperate to keep him locked up.
She was so full of life and spirit. Her personality was just contagious.
It's too hard to list all the ways Melissa Anne Herstrum's loved ones have missed her.
I miss the way she celebrated holidays and how much she loved family time and all those things I didn't get to celebrate.
But on this chilly morning in Rocky River, her sister, Cindy Herstrum-Clark, and good friend, TJ McManamon, sat down to try. In January of 1992, their beloved Melissa's life stolen from her at the hands of University of Toledo police officer Jeffrey Hodge, who drove her to a remote campus parking lot, handcuffed her, then killed her. Her body left to freeze on the ground.
It's changed everything, the way we look at life, the way we treat people. It's been very difficult to function at certain times.
It's a hole in my parents' heart, it's a hole in my heart. It's all the life that we didn't get to share with her because she was only 19.
30 years of pain, magnified at the thought of her killer going free.
He's up for parole, but he had a life sentence, 30 to life.
But it's only been 29, and each year an excruciating reminder of how she was taken.
He shot her 14 times at close range, and her clothes were partially removed. Like, he wanted to see the impact of the bullets, and I have to relive all these things, but they never leave my memory anyway. But he's dangerous.
It wasn't just how he killed her. It was what he did after that makes Melissa's family shudder to this day.
He wanted to be at the autopsy, he had witnessed the autopsy. He also was standing guard outside the sorority house. He found the body himself, him and his partner, so he staged that whole scene.
So how could a killer be potentially set free? In a statement, Ohio Department of Corrections spokesperson Joellen Smith said, in part, he is eligible for his first hearing because he served 30 years minus 430 days of jail time credit. He earned good time of 30%. Therefore, he is eligible for parole consideration after serving 70% of his minimum sentence. Melissa's family says he's a monster, incapable of change.
He passed all the psychological tests that a police officer goes through. And just like he's been quote unquote programmed in Marion Correctional Institution, how programmable is a human that commits such a violent crime?
There's no remorse now, there's no remorse then, there never will be.
That's why Melissa's old classmates at Rocky River High School have launched a campaign and website to keep Hodge in prison.
So the best thing we can do is send in letters. We can write the governor, we can write the parole board.
Meanwhile, Cindy and her parents feel imprisoned themselves, forever tortured by images of their Melissa.
I can't forget what she looked like laying there in the coffin. I can't forget it. I won't forget it. I don't want to forget her memory, but I won't forget what he did. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure he stays where he needs to stay.
Melissa's family met with the parole board earlier this month. Next up, Jeffrey Hodge will meet with them tomorrow or Wednesday to determine if he moves on to the next phase of the hearing. That's something Melissa's family is desperately trying to prevent. If you'd like to learn more about how to help them, head to WKYC.com for a link.
Wow, obviously, understandably, a very emotional time for this family. How are they holding up leading up to this parole hearing?
The short answer, Russ, is that they are struggling.
Sure.
When I sat down with them, I would never be able to tell that it happened 30 years ago. The pain has never left them. And now I would argue that it's even worse with this looming this week. They need help. They say they need voices. Keep in mind, this happened back in the early 90s. So life without parole wasn't even a possibility.
Okay, Lindsey Buckingham, thank you.